Well, to most, he was known simply as Dre, a guy who loved music and sports, always with a smile on his face, and tonight they're left wondering why. At the base of this fence,
at first I didn't even believe it. I wasn't gonna believe it.
small candles lighting up his name.
Say what you want. He was a good kid and he didn't deserve that whatsoever.
Dozens filling the parking lot of Lebanon High School, many writing messages, sending their thoughts to the sky.
I'm very pleased, and I know Dre would be very happy that they all came.
Mother Christy Pacak is left piecing it all together.
Wrong place, wrong time. Questions are still being answered.
A young man just 18 years old.
Dre loved to sing, he loved to rap, he loved to play basketball, he loved to hang out with his family.
Like every teen, they say he was learning his path.
The people that, have been here are the people he should have stayed with.
For now, the people here comforting one another as best they can.
He was such a free spirit, and he was taken way too early. It's just unnecessary, and a lot of kids need to learn a lesson from a lot of this.
I was a little brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, from day one, I've always been there. He always been there, you know what I'm saying? Every time I got into something, you know what I'm saying? He got into something. We was just like Bonnie and Clyde, you know what I'm saying? Like, everywhere I went, he went. From day one. It was like, I was a little brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, from scratch, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, it seemed like without Dre, I wouldn't be the man I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like, from scratch, like, he taught me how to play football, basketball. He taught me everything. Like, without him here, it's like, I ain't gonna be the same person, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was like my right-hand man. Like, my right hand gone now. So, I ain't gonna be the same, you know what I'm saying? Like once it first happened, like, I ain't take it seriously. I thought it was a joke, you know what I'm saying? So I just blew it off, but then as time came around, just like, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I gotta take from this, you know what I'm saying? So, now, I'ma say it motivated me to actually do something, you know what I'm saying? To actually make more of my potential, to actually, succeed. But without him, it's hard, man, because, I can't express my feelings for it because I'm not that open.
Tell us your name.
Cheyenne.
And what your relationship is?
Dre's my older brother from my dad's side. He was more of a, he could make anybody, like, smile. He was outgoing, very outgoing. I wasn't around him a lot, but he was always there. Like, he could make you smile. He could make you smile, like, when you're, like, really sad. He was like the life of the party. He could do anything to make anybody happy. He was that, like, older brother that, like, he'd bully you, but he'd never, like, actually hurt you. If he said something, he'd do it. If he put his mind to something, he'd do it. And he was a great guy. He was somebody you would always want to be around. He was wonderful. I'm so happy I got to meet him. whenever you needed him, he was there. Like, he always had your back. He never leave you hanging. He was a big part of a lot of people's lives.
A passerby found a body near Golson and Redding in Avondale. And Local 12's Perry Shiver.
The victim in this case is a 19-year-old man shot twice in the back. Police have not yet given out his name. They were waiting to give word to his family about what happened before they were going to release that name. Now, people in this community visibly upset by the homicide. Someone found the victim's body about 7 o'clock this morning on the field next to the Hirsch Recreation Center on Redding Road. Homicide detectives spent hours canvassing the area and eventually expanded the crime scene across Redding. Now, there are shell casings and blood drops throughout the street.
And he wouldn't let you mess with his family. When it came down to his family, it was very serious. He always had their backs. He was so chill.
My name is Jordan Preston. I was one of Dre's closest friends, in my opinion, one of his best friends. Dre was a good dude, real athletic, happy person. You can learn a lot from him. One of them type of guys, very, what's the word I want to say? Inspirational. He taught me a couple things as far as sports and just living life. He had one of them do whatever, say whatever type life, but he wasn't no bad dude. Definitely wasn't supposed to go the way with, the way that he did, at the wrong place at the wrong time, hanging with the wrong crowd. I don't know. Dre was a free spirit in my eyes. We had our little bouts, our little arguments, but at the end of the day, that was my best friend. He was my best friend. I know he had my back. I had his. I don't know. It's sad that he gone. It's crazy. He got all these amazing, family and friends around him. I don't know. I don't even. It's making me want to get emotional. I don't even. That was just my dude. That's really all I can think about. He wasn't supposed to go the way it did.
A teenager found dead in an Avondale park. Police now say he was hit in a shooting that left another person wounded on Redding Road. Jordan Burgess is live with what neighbors think could help stop all the violence. Jordan?
Well, this shooting that happened here along Redding Road is another in a string of them here in Avondale, and even those who have seen shootings here before say this one was worse. Police lights flash where guns blasted away just minutes before. Neighbors so shaken they don't want their faces on TV.
It sounds like a battlefield out here.
Officers found one person shot in the hip here along Redding Road, but the more disturbing discovery was made hours later as the sun came up.
Again, another tragic event in Avondale.
Someone walking found the body of 18-year-old Diondre Pacak near this baseball field. Police say he was shot twice in the back. They believe it was from the shooting on Redding that neighbors say was unlike any they've heard before.
About 5 or 6 shots, and then I heard return gunfire because you could tell that it was 2 different types of guns.
According to his Facebook page, Pacak did videos for a rap group known as So Self-Made. He posted in June about knowing the person killed in a shooting in Evanston. Those in the city say they've seen this happen too many times.
His family, great people, all his sisters, his little brother, everybody, they looked up to him. They miss him a lot. I know that. I know I miss him. personally. I don't know. It just, guess the life that we live in. But the crazy thing, he wasn't really even living that life. It was just misguidance. You know, he wanted to venture off and do his own thing. And us as his boys or his friends, we were doing our own things, and, you know, things went their separate ways. You know, I get that phone call, and now we're here today. You know, I don't know, I just know I gotta, me personally, stay strong for Miss Christie and all his little sisters and his little brother. Because I feel like I'm the next to, you feel me, only thing that they got besides money right here, as far as being a brother. You know, so I gotta try to keep my head positive. You know, we got a child on the way. Ain't nobody gonna be able to replace his spot, but I feel like it's in my will and his other little brother's will to try our best, you know, to be there for the mother of his child and also the, you know, the child. You know, it's crazy. He would have been a great father in my eyes. It would have been a funny thing to see, you know, knowing Dre, but he would have been a great father though, you know, so. For every life that goes, I guess one comes, and that's a real life situation as far as our situation that we living in, so. I don't know, I guess everything happened for a reason.
We know a 19-year-old man was shot twice in the back, and we want to go to Allie Kramer, who is live covering this story now. Allie?
Good afternoon, Tanya. That's right. It has been a very long morning here in Avondale. What we know right now is a 19-year-old male who is not from this area was shot twice in the back, and he was actually found just across Reading Road here. This is at the Hirsch Recreation Center. He was found on the baseball fields back behind some of these houses here, actually by a passerby. Now, this has been an enormous crime scene all morning. Reading Road was closed for several hours. It just reopened to traffic. Now, just after 7 this morning, young children walked along the crime scene tape on their way to school while detectives began their investigation. The victim, who has not yet been identified, was found behind several houses, again, on those baseball fields. Dozens of officers and detectives have been canvassing the area, expanding the crime scene several times as they discovered shell casings in the yards, the parking lots, and then on Reading Road. Now, police were actually just a block away around 1 o'clock this morning investigating another shooting. Police tell us a man was robbed by 5 other men and then shot in the hip. Authorities are looking into whether the two shootings are connected, but at this point, Captain Maris Harold with District 4, she is making a passionate plea for information.
We are canvassing the area right now for witnesses. We would really appreciate help on this. Again, another tragic event in Avondale, and so we just are asking, if I can ask at this point, if anybody in the area has seen anything, please call Crime Stoppers, call the district, please get some information to us. I would really appreciate it as the district commander.
We are told that this is the 51st homicide in Cincinnati so far this year. As the captain said there in her interview, she is asking anyone for information. You can anonymously report it. Crime Stoppers, you know the number. It is 352-3040. As investigators continue to investigate here, we will stay on top of the story, bring you live the latest live today at 5 o'clock. Reporting live this afternoon, Allie Kramer, 9 on your side.
All right, I'm Wood. I'm Christopher. I'm Dre's mother's boyfriend. You know, we had like that brother relationship, but I'm like only a few years older than him, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It was like he was my brother, but it's like I had to guide him in the right way. But I was growing up myself, you know. So, but other than that, Dre was a happy dude. You know, like Dre was always happy, never was negative about nothing, never. He always was down to do anything positive. When I met his mom, it was like, as soon as I met him, it was like, I gotta be around here forever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I already knew what it was gonna be, so he was positive. I used to be a negative guy. He made me turn positive, start doing positive things, you know, like basketball and stuff. He motivated me to want to stop smoking so I could play basketball more with him and do stuff like that, so I could have the energy to be, he is my energy, still is my energy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I can barely think right now, just trying to think of everything about him.
My name is Annalise, and he's my brother to me, and he always made me feel happy about myself. He could make anyone smile whenever they feel sad or anything. When I found out about it, I was really sad, but like after I got really used to it, and then I always used to cry, but I feel like he's always with me no matter what, wherever I go. And I love him more than anything, and I just hope he's always with me wherever I go. And I liked, since he was like, when he was here, I always liked messing with his hair because his hair was always curly and stuff. And he made me feel good about myself.
A teenager is dead from gunfire in Avondale. Another young man was shot in the same vicinity, and tonight, homicide detectives are asking for your help in trying to piece it all together. WLWT News host John London is live for us in that neighborhood where the teen's body was found. John.
Yeah, behind the neighborhood center here across Reading Road. His body was discovered sometime around dawn, but he may have been shot several hours earlier. The youth's body was found on the ball field behind Hirsch Recreation Center in Avondale. The shell casing and evidence markers speak volumes about this summer in this neighborhood.
Again, another tragic event in Avondale.
Captain Maris Harold appealed to the public for information. Diondre Pacak was 18, withdrew from Lebanon High early last fall. No adult criminal history. Juvenile records state he stole a bike, tried to break into a shed, and resisted a police pat-down. Peace advocates were out here this morning to check the temperature on the street.
They want the shooting to stop. I was just talking to them kids, the little kids up there. They wanted to stop. They want to be able to play outside.
Pacak's body was found around 7 this morning. 6 hours earlier, a few blocks south, 21-year-old Robert Denton was shot during a robbery involving 5 suspects, at least 2 of them armed. A half hour past midnight, the police incident report notes multiple shots heard behind building and someone yelling for help. It's unclear what, if anything, was done to check that out.
My name is Christy Pacak. Diondre Pacak was my baby. My only baby. I was 16 when I got pregnant, 17 when I had him. He changed my life more than anybody ever could. He was my best friend. He was my road dog. Ever since the day I laid my eyes on him, I knew he was going to be special. And I was not proven wrong. He excelled in everything that he did, from skateboarding to baseball to basketball to football to drawing to rapping. You name it, he did it. Flawlessly. He was a free spirit. He didn't care what anybody thought about him. He lived life how he wanted to. And that ended up being what killed him. He couldn't sit still for too long. And he always wanted to experience more. And living in a small town, he didn't get to do much. So he ventured out. He always came home. At one point, he even came home because he admitted he's just a mama's boy. He didn't deserve what happened. All he did was walk to the store. It's not that he's a bad kid. He just made a wrong decision at the wrong time. And that's why I tell everybody, parents, kids, it's just one decision away. It's not a bad decision. It's not a good decision. It's just one decision away. Whether that's not making your kids stay in the house or thinking they're grown. I did everything that I could. He was my best friend. I taught him right from wrong. I taught him how to be independent, compassionate. And maybe that's where I went wrong, because he just wanted to be everywhere and he wanted to help everybody. And I learned a lot about my son after he passed. I thought that I lost the little boy that I raised a long time ago when he hit 14, 15. But I now realize that I did not lose him. He took everything that I had and he taught it to everybody else that he met. From where he died at, to here, everywhere. He's such an inspiration and he's legendary. And I miss him so much. Don't take your kids for granted. Don't take your parents for granted. I have to go and sit at the cemetery to spend time with my child now. And it's not fair. I miss him so much. He never is going to get the chance to grow into a grown man. He's never going to get a chance to be the father to his child. We found out 5 days before he got killed that he was going to be a dad. And he was so excited. He said he didn't want a girl. Well, guess what? That's what we got. And it's my obligation to make sure that I'm there for her and make sure she knows her father. Because somebody took that opportunity away from her. And they're still living, breathing. But mine's not. And he didn't deserve it.